All right, guys, the Puma Hali 1, they got a nice ass box. This box is clean. And this review will be based on performance as well as a breakdown, because I've already played in these. I just didn't get any B-roll while we were out on the court. I apologize. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we have a detailed look, breakdown, and performance review on the Puma Hali 1, Tyrese Haliburton's first ever signature shoe. I suppose I should just get the whole, like, why does Tyrese Haliburton got a signature shoe out of the way? You know what I mean? That's always like the main thing. Like, I understand where people's perspectives are coming from, but at the same time, when I go to the gym, you know how many people I see besides like little kids in mellow shoes? A lot. Trust me, man, people do buy those things and they wear them. I'm actually in the gym. Maybe those people aren't. I don't know. But this shoe right here brings like a different level of awareness to Puma's basketball brand, which is exactly why he has a basketball shoe with the brand. I didn't even know that many people knew that this shoe was coming. You know what I mean? I pulled these out and I put them on and everybody's like, what the f, you got the Haliburtons? I was like, you know what the Haliburtons are? It was weird. So yeah, that's why, man. That's why. Brand awareness. It's smart. That's why anybody signs anyone. Now with that out of the way, the outsole is a fucking beast. This thing right here is just straight up herringbone, dude. There's like no frills, no gimmicks, no nothing. They're using what Puma calls Puma grip rubber, which is stuff that they've used for the longest time, basically since they've relaunched their basketball program, or I shouldn't say program, division. And one of the weird things when it comes to Puma and Puma's grip and Puma's outsoles, at least when it comes to the basketball side of things, the translucent rubbers usually perform way better than their solid rubbers. Like the one time that the solid rubber I remember being amazing. What were those shoes called? The ones that I love. They were simple. They were white with the black form strip.
Were they just the Clyde hardwoods?
Oh, that was what it was. Yeah, my bad. That was the only shoe that I remember having solid rubber and actually being like amazing compared to the translucent versions. Whereas everything else that I played in, especially their LaMelo line, the translucent rubbers just usually end up with more grip. Not sure why. Maybe that'll be different on this shoe, although I don't think I've seen a pair with solid rubber yet, but maybe we will soon. But either way, this guy right here is awesome. On top of that, like, do you play outdoors? If you do, this is the outsole for it. This outsole is thick as f. It's not like a paper thin, like really soft type of rubber. Like this is ideal for both indoor or outdoor, depending on which you play on. And then in between that outsole and the midsole, you can clearly see it with this clear rubber, but there is a big fat TPU shank plate right there. And on top of that, it extends to the forefoot. So it's not just for torsion rigidity, but it's also got a spring plate aspect to it as well. Typically, I don't like these because it does limit flex quite a bit. And this one like it's like that, bro. Like it's a stiff one, you know what I mean? The thing though is that this shoe, you don't feel it like restrict the forefoot flexibility too much when you're actually wearing them and playing in them, because the toe has like this weird kind of like, it goes up a little bit. I don't know how to explain it, but that's the way that it feels. It was one of the first things that I noticed when I first tried them on. I was like, oh, it's like, feels like my toes are going up, like on an up ramp, instead of like when you're in a runner where you feel like you're slanting down. So it was like one of those weird things, and I believe it's just for forward motion and momentum to help with that spring plate aspect. I will say I didn't love that feeling, but maybe you will.
Maybe.
Now the midsole is nitro foam, and not just that, it's actually full length this time. So this is definitely different than what they've been doing with the LaMelo line, where it's usually heel and forefoot, or just heel or just forefoot. Usually it's in the heel if I'm remembering correctly, but a few of them have been heel and forefoot. But either way, those usually have like little pads of nitro foam, and then they're inside of the midsole, which is used as a carrier. This guy still has that kind of carrier look to it and everything, because the nitro foam is actually white. You can't see it because it's underneath the insole, which I can't take out now because I played in them and the glue is like really, really sticky. But it is in there and it's full length. And I will say that they are more comfortable than the LaMelo stuff. So if you're interested in, you know, rocking with this shoe or rocking with a Puma shoe and you wanted more cushion, then this is probably the one that you're gonna wanna look at. Now the upper is where things get kind of repetitive, especially if you have been playing in LaMelo shoes, because we've got very similar stuff here. We've got a lot of textiles, we've got some overlays that are mostly TPU, and that's pretty much it. But the overlays that they use actually add design to the upper, so it's not like super flat looking. Like you obviously have all of this texture to it and stuff like that, and there's also a texture to the textile as well. It also kind of has that Yeezy 700 toe type of vibe, so yeah. But either way, the materials are basically what they are. It's not anything crazy. It's very modern. They're gonna break in really quickly out of the box. I will say that as far as fit is concerned, they do fit fairly snug, but it does break in quickly. I was initially like a little scared because they were a little tighter than what I'm used to with even the LaMelo stuff. But after like a few minutes on court, like moving around and stuff, they broke right in. So it wasn't a big deal. The overlays that they use are actually thoughtful, not just for design purposes, but also for function. So the cage that you see wrapped around the textile is there for additional lateral containment. Usually stuff like this is actually on the inside nowadays. So it's kind of cool to see that they actually put it on the outside. And then the toe area obviously is just for wear and tear. It's like in that high wear zone, toe drags and things like that. So yeah, the use of the Puma cat logo is also really cool. We haven't seen this on at least a Puma basketball shoe in a hot minute. They've been basically sticking with the form strip logo for a while. So it's like nice to see something different here. The support is very solid. Not only is that giant TPU plate on the bottom, but you also sit within the midsole a little bit, and it's widened out, so you got a nice wide flat stable base. Like this is perfect right here. This is awesome. The upper is very supportive on top of that, and the back area is very sturdy, so you got an internal and an external heel counter. I mean, it's just a really well thought out design. Very simple, but in the best way possible. Like everything that's on here just straight up works. Can I just say that I love the tone? It relieves lace pressure and it adds a lot of ventilation. I dig it, dude. Like I really do. Anyways, with all that being said, what is today's viewer submitted question of the day? Is this a weird one? You got a face on you.
I'm just nervous about butchering the pronunciation of a name, but I'm gonna do my best.
Join the club, man.
Considering out of every player that's ever played in the NBA,
I don't know if I'm knowledgeable for this.
who do you think is an NBA player that deserves a signature shoe, like his own shoe and not just a PE version? I think my underrated pick is either Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf or Chris Webber.
I mean, the Air Max sensation was Chris Webber's shoe.
But is it like how the shoe is?
No, it had his logo on the back. They obviously took off the CW branding since he's no longer part of Nike. But you know, Nike, if they want to release something, man, they're gonna do it. Plus, he had the Dada shoe too, like the Dada Webbers. You know what I mean? Like he had signature shoes. I swear.
Okay, you would know more than I.
Well, yeah, well, there you go. I will butcher his name too, but I know who they're talking about. Can I see it? Yeah, I'm not gonna say that either, but I know who they're talking about, and he was a beast. The first player that comes to mind, and this is something that I would love this question to be asked to multiple fans of, or multiple generations of fans of the NBA, because like the OG era, like who would have gotten a signature shoe back then? Like, would it be Pistol Pete, Jerry West, the logo himself? You know what I mean? Like who? It would have been really interesting to know. I didn't watch the league back then. I've only seen the clips and the documentaries and all of that stuff. So like it would be interesting to see what people's answers would be. Same thing with like the 80s, like what would it look like? You know what I'm saying? Obviously we did eventually get stuff, like, but it was very few and far between. Like signature shoes were not a thing until MJ. Man, is there a limit, or can I just shoot out a few names? He said two.
You can have two.
The first one that came to mind like instantly was Jason Williams White Chocolate. He is the epitome of what a signature shoe would do for a brand, which is like because he did this with the Nike Hyperflight without it actually being his shoe. Multiple players wore them and multiple players were used in the marketing for them, but like he was like the main, like he was the one that stuck, at least for me, he's the one that stuck out the most. The all purple joints. I can't even tell you how bad I wanted those. But like either way, he's the first one that comes to mind where it's just like, I think that would have been great. The other one, and this is gonna be kind of weird because I'm doing this on Haliburton's shoe and he's currently a Pacer, but like Reggie Miller's the other one that kind of comes to mind. He's more of the polarizing version so like Jason Williams kind of like the accepted version of an all-star, you know what I mean? Where everybody's like, oh, I love this dude. And Reggie, people hate it, including me. Like when I watched him go against MJ in Chicago, dude, like I was like, nah, this guy, like please, like, and he would do everything and like he'd be like so he was that dude that would kill your team and you would just sit there just devastated. That kind of deserves, in my thoughts at least, a signature shoe. Those are my first two. I'll keep it short and sweet, I suppose, because I do want to know your guys, especially if you're not just older but younger. Like I want to know, like, this is a great question. Like go through generations and be like, yeah, like who could have or should have gotten a signature shoe? Yeah, Pistol Pete would have been a fun one. Jerry West, George Mikan, but that's a long time ago. Oh, wrap it up? Sorry. You need one of them canes where you can just pull me out of the frame.
Yeah.
So.
It's my dream.
For real? But sound off below and let me know your thoughts on, different players that should have maybe gotten a signature shoe and not just a PE or a player contract. And on top of all of that, sound off below and let us know how you feel about the Haliburton ones or the Halley ones. Are you excited to play in a pair? If you already have, what do you think about them? Sound off below, let us know. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. We'll catch you guys in the next one. So until then, you guys have a good one. This year has been so good with basketball shoes. I'm kind of shocked. It's like who's in charge everywhere? Like every brand's got one, at least one. Most of them got two. It's a good year for basketball. Basketball feels like it's bad. Reebok even's got two good ones. That's how you know there's some weird going on.